Magandang araw. Good day, everyone. Welcome to UCSP by Doncha, a diverse approach to understanding culture, society, and politics. I'm Teacher Don, and together we will explore and broaden our knowledge to be socially and culturally competent individuals. Before we start the tour, let's first gear ourselves for it by guessing some words through the game Pictionary. But this time, we'll play it the Doncha way. Here's the twist. I'm going to draw an object and I will give you 5 seconds to guess the word being drawn. You may write your answers in your UCSP modules or notebooks. Are you ready? For the first word, your time starts now. Is your answer fire? Then you are right. Next word. Your time starts now. Did you write the word pots? If you do so, then you are correct. And for the last word, your time starts now. The correct answer is spear. Can you relate to these given images? These images have something to do with our discussions for today's episode regarding the tools and technologies used during the ancient civilizations. And we will have an in-depth understanding of these things as we tour Bolinao. We are now here in Bolinao, the sport fishing mecca of northwestern Luzon. They celebrate the abundance of the Bolinao waters in their annual Mangunguna Festival. In Bolinao, Mangunguna means fisher folks. It is a week-long festivity honoring the fisher folks of the town, enriching Bolinao's bangus aquaculture industry, Bolinao seafood, and other fish products. We have another signature event here in Bolinao, known as the Pidudungo, which means to eat together. It is a celebration to pay tribute to the bounties of the seas, depicting and symbolizing the unity and cooperation of the municipality. Bolinao has lots of things to offer, ranging from its festivities and unique gatherings to its captivating and one-of-a-kind tourist destinations, plus a whole lot more. And as we explore the natural and cultural wonders of the city, we will be tackling the significance of cultural, social, political, and economic symbols and practices. Don't you know that ancient people used to call Bolinao as Binabalyan, meaning an old town with only a few hundred settlers? We are now at the must-visit attraction in Bolinao, the Enchanted Cave. This place is believed to have been submerged in water millions of years ago. As it emerged from underwater, fascinating coral rocks or limestones and fossilized giant clams showed up. Imagine other things that evolved over time. Some archaeologists believe that the Earth's beginnings can be traced way back to 4.5 billion years, but human evolution only counts for a tiny speck of its history. It is believed that it was then when a cultural evolution occurred. Cultural evolution is the idea that human culture, such as beliefs, knowledge, customs, skills, attitudes, and languages change over time. Finds from the prehistoric period documented a lot of human activities dating way back to the period from about 2.5 million years ago to 1200 BCE. It is generally categorized into archaeological periods, referred to as the Stone Age and Metal Age. The cultural evolution of early humans can be traced back to the beginning of the Stone Age. During this age, humans used to be primitive or use primitive stone tools. Don't you know that the Stone Age is divided into 3 separate periods? Let us identify them as we continue our tour here in Bolinao. The water inside the Enchanted Cave is crystal clear and not salty. The fossilized remains of giant clams, huge coral rocks, and limestone walls are evidence of nature's peculiarity. And speaking of stones, the first Stone Age period is known as the Paleolithic Age, otherwise referred to as the Old Stone Age. In this period, human beings learned how to use simple and unpolished stone tools, discovered the use of fire, learned how to hunt for food, and learned how to survive by living in caves. They also developed small sculptures and monumental paintings, carved designs, and reliefs on the walls of caves. Their main focus was to hunt and collect food, which reflected their nomadic way of living. Don't you know that the word Paleolithic was coined by the archaeologist John Lubbock in the year 1865? Here at Punta Piedro Point, which is a towering hill of solid rocks in Barangay Patar, lies one of the oldest lighthouses in the Philippines, the Cape Bolinao Lighthouse. It is also one of the most significant landmarks here in Bolinao. This majestic structure is 351 feet above sea level and has a total of 134 steps. To experience a breathtaking view of the sea, it's a must for tourists to reach its summit. Bolinao Lighthouse was made of stones that has evolved through time, and as we talked about stones, the second phase or period of the Stone Age is the Mesolithic period or the Middle Stone Age. It was considered as the transition period between the Paleolithic and Neolithic periods. The word Mesolithic is derived from the Greek words mesos, which means middle, and lithos refers to stone that collectively means Middle Stone Age. Early humans during this period gradually domesticated plants and animals. They also started to form their own settlements and communities. In this period, they also learned how to use microliths or smaller and more delicate stone tools that were used for hunting, fishing, and gathering food, the primary activities of the early humans. Don't you know that the Mesolithic period is related to European culture? The final period of the Stone Age is known as the Neolithic period, New Stone Age, or the Agricultural Revolution. The word Neolithic was derived from the ancient Greek words neos, which means new, and lithos, which means stone. During this period, a wide-scale transition was experienced by many human cultures, ranging from the different forms of hunting and food gathering to changes in agricultural practices and lifestyles that included the types of settlements they lived in, which eventually led to a population increase in the ancient societies. Different types of tools were developed by using bronze as a second metal for architectural implements such as plows and sickles, and military weapons like swords, spears, shields, as well as household utensils like jars, bowls, and cups. Tribes, empires, and states were recognized at this point. During the Neolithic period, human beings used polished stone tools and learned how to settle in permanent villages. Don't you know that Bolinao is also famous for its magoy ropes, shell crafts, and buri handicrafts? This became an industry due to the abundance of these materials here. And when it comes to agriculture, Bolinao has a diversity of fruit produce, and one of the most abundant fruits here is the siniguelas. Balingasay River is known to be a multi-awarded river dubbed as the cleanest and greenest river in Ilocos region or Region 1. As featured in the Philippine Daily Inquirer, the Bolinao skull was found in this river. This is considered as a significant and one-of-a-kind archaeological treasure due to its gold dental decorations that resembles fish scales. Isn't it really intriguing to find gold dental decorations in a skull? I bet the early humans already had the hang of using metals. The use of metals such as bronze, copper, and iron produced a new historical development that spread not only in Bolinao or in the Philippines but throughout Asia. And the period where it all started is known as the Metal Age. Don't you know that aside from the skull with gold dental decorations, 66 more skulls and Ming Dynasty ceramics were also discovered here in the Balingasay River. There were 3 stages distinguished within this age due to the different types of metals that were used: the Copper Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. Copper is the first known metal due to its stiffness, the materials that were used in using ornaments. Bronze is a combination of copper and tin, which is harder and stronger than copper. Several East Mediterranean people discovered the use of these materials as their civilization progressed rapidly. Some of the developed agricultural tools were plows and sickles, and military weapons like swords, spears, and shields, as well as household utensils like jars, bowls, and cups. Hence, a more developed social, cultural, political, and economic system started to evolve. Tribes, empires, and states were recognized at this point. Don't you know that the first civilization were found mostly in Asia, particularly in China and Mesopotamia, which is now known as Iraq? Oh, by the way, here in the Balingasay River, you will not just be able to visit vast archaeological sites but also enjoy some food adventures in its floating restaurant. Isn't it great? Bolinao Falls is one of the best tourist attractions of the municipality. It is about 19 kilometers away from the Bolinao town proper in the middle of a rice field. This is just but one of the distinguished waterfalls of Bolinao. Settlements are now evident in this area, especially some of the business establishments that provide cottages, picnic areas, and the like. As early civilization arose, 6 types of human societies also evolved. These include hunting and gathering societies, horticultural societies, pastoral societies, agricultural societies, industrial societies, and post-industrial societies. In the earlier discussion, we have come to learn the different prehistoric ages. During these ages, various societies developed or evolved. First, the hunting and gathering societies. These are the earliest forms of human society. People survive by planting vegetables and fruits, fishing, hunting larger wild animals, and collecting shellfish. Human beings in this period used tools made of stones, woods, and bones. Second, the horticultural societies. In this society, people learn to use human labor and handheld tools to cultivate fields. Third, the pastoral societies. Human beings learned on herding and the domestication of animals for food and clothing. Organized male-centered kinship or leadership showed its first clear beginnings in this society. Fourth, agricultural societies. This particular society is characterized by the use of plow and other planting materials. While the fifth and the sixth are the industrial and post-industrial societies that we have experienced. Guess where we are now? We are now around 19 kilometers from the town proper in this famed local destination that has captured the hearts of both local and international tourists, none other than the Patar Beach, which boasts of its white sand and crystal clear water. Being in Bolinao not only allowed us to visit some of its breathtaking tourist destinations, but we've also come to learn some important concepts of cultural evolution. Cultural evolution is the idea that the human culture has different sets of beliefs, knowledge, customs, skills, attitudes, and languages that change over time. As mentioned, the Paleolithic age was the age where unpolished stone tools were used. The prehistoric human beings had a nomadic way of living and were into hunting and the gathering of food, while the Neolithic age saw the use of polished stone tools. The planting of food and the domestication of animals were evident. Prehistoric human beings started to build their permanent settlements. And lastly, the Metal Age, where the use of metals was discovered and became more predominant. The formation of tribes, empires, and states became inevitable, which eventually led to the beginnings of the different Asian civilizations. Don't you know that Patar Beach is dubbed as the sole golden beach of Pangasinan? Patar Beach is a must-visit tourist spot by local and foreign tourists from around the world. And I need to say more? Just look at how vast this wonderful beach. You will definitely be mesmerized. The preservation of this place is achieved through the continuous collaboration of the local government unit and the community here in Bolinao. But even before these collaborations of the LGU and locals that we see our current society, humans have already developed this concept of society based on their skills and excellence way back in the early years. Bolinao is truly a wonderful place to visit. It is packed with mesmerizing views, vibrant cultural practices, delicacies, seafood, crafts, and a whole lot more. Bolinao takes pride in its various tourist attractions such as the dewy sandbars, the salt farm, the rock formations, Tara Falls, and places of interest like the St. James Parish Church and the Little Sisters of the Poor. These are all places that we can still visit today. Don't you know that Bolinao is also known for its binungoy, a native cake that is very popular in this town. It is made of a sticky rice, coconut milk, and salt. It has a sticky texture and a hint of bamboo flavor. It is best served with cocoa jam, sugar covered in banana leaf, topped off with some side slices of ripe mangoes. Truly delectable. Oops, wait, there's more. If you're into some exotic food, marang-tang-tang or sea urchins are a must-try. Don't you know that they are best eaten fresh and raw? Well, if you are not into trying or eating raw sea urchins, you may probably want to try some pinalag barangan, a local small dried fish product best served for breakfast with rice and egg. Fun and interactive cultural activities are also practiced and showcased here. The much-awaited sports competition here in Bolinao during its Mangunguna Festival is the Carabao Race. In this Carabao swim race in Balingasay River, the participants try to outdo each other in dashing out of the starting point as they compete with speed throughout this float race. And what kind of tourist visits a place and does not buy some souvenirs? The best products of Bolinao are its shell crafts and buri handcrafts, proudly made by the locals. From your observations about our educational tour, are there differences in terms of how people in the past and the present carry out things physically and culturally? I'll leave that question for you to contemplate on as you try to weigh and compare the things of the past and the present. And we'll find out your answer in our next episode. It was such a blast being with you on another enjoyable travel adventure here in UCSP by Doncha. Once again, I'm Teacher Don, your UCSP travel buddy. Maabig ya araw, magandang araw.